Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rants Bants and Confessions.
Yes, Ama Burland and Gisela they've done some podcasts. Ama Burland has a new show, and first episode they were talking about the Rants Bants and Confessions podcast that they've left. The things that made them leave, and I watched the whole thing. I said,
No, it's making sense. It's making
Now there's a big bomb. We are going to take it one after the other. The reasons that they stated why they left the RBC podcast, and right now Ama Burland is doing her own thing, and things are moving great. I have the full gist for you.
I'm the Headless YouTuber. There's Headless Reactions. Alatiare Yanko.
So last year, the Rants Bants and Confessions podcast, they announced that Ifya Odo, Gisela, and Ama Burland are going to be the new hosts of Season 2. Season 1 was hosted by some Nigerians in Nigeria. Season 2, they started doing the hosting in Ghana, specifically Jumbo Spaces, and that was where they were doing the thing at. Now, when they announced first episode, chaotic. You know how it went. I shouldn't even tell you. The way they were dragging Gisela, dragging Ama Burland. Every day there's drama and stuff. But the numbers were very good. So everything was okay. Now season 3 was coming out. They say that Gisela and Ama Burland, they've left the podcast. And that's when they brought Adjoati and Rosie as the replacements. Now, Ama Burland recently announced that she's doing a new show. She's the host of a new show called Let's Do Drinks. But before that, I saw a video of Ama Burland and Gisela on set, like a podcast set. So I was excited. I thought when they left RBC, they are coming to do their own podcast. But yeah, let's see what will happen. But then Let's Do Drinks, the new show that Ama Burland came to announce. That show, this is actually season 2. Season 1 was like 6 years ago, 2019. Hold on. That time, it was being hosted by Lale. She has interviewed a lot of people. She interviewed Kim Promise, Kiddy, Dope Nation, those days, before they became who they are now. Like before the freshness. If you see them, you see that. She hosted, that was like, long time ago, 6 years ago. And now Ama Burland came to announce that I'm hosting a new show, Let's Do Drinks. First episode premieres Thursday, 6 p.m. on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Princess Burland, professional vibes curator, part-time therapist after 2 shots. This is Let's Do Drinks, and the stories get messy.
So Thursday, 6 p.m. we were all on YouTube. The channel name is The Creative Inc. We were all there waiting for episode 1. Gisela and Ama Burland, they are coming to, have their discussion about the RBC and other things. But this is the part that really concerns me, the Rants Bants and Confessions podcast, why they left the podcast. First off, they cracked the joke about, the podcast being drama-free, because when they announced the new people for the next podcast, when they announced that is going to be, they are going to replace Gisela and Ama Burland with Rosie and Adjoati, they said it's going to be drama-free. So Gisela cracked the joke that they realized that they are the drama. So now that they are off the thing, right now it's drama-free.
Why did you leave the podcast you were on? Why did you leave the podcast you were on? I've asked you. I'll answer when you're done answering. I'll answer.
It was just too much drama. Besides, I just recently found out that we are the drama. Like, we were the drama. How? Oh, the first episode. They said the new season is drama-free, blah, 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 blah.
Oh.
Another thing they spoke about was the fact that people or bloggers started posting that Gisela and Ama Burland were sacked from the RBC podcast. And Ama said she feels like that thing, it was rage bait. Like they were intentionally putting that thing out so that they will be angry and they'll come and say,
now you sack me? It's me Nankasa that I left. And so that's the thing will trend.
There was this narrative going around about they sacking us.
This is so serious. I feel like that is rage bait. Like, I feel like people wanted us to see that, like, because it was mostly bloggers that were doing that. I feel like they just wanted us to see that, then we'll get angry, then we'll come and reply.
God
forbid. I feel like it was rage bait.
Yeah.
I didn't even take those. So I just see something like, if you had me on your you sack me. You sack me.
So now to why they left, Gisela answered first before Ama Burland came. Gisela said, point number 1, these people will do the podcast, they'll record everything, and then some parts that you expect them to cut out of the podcast, they'll keep those parts in the podcast. So the whole thing looked like they were trying to set up their hosts for dragging just to get the views and stuff. Because how can you be talking to somebody on the podcast and maybe you are gossiping about somebody and then they say like off camera, you think it's off camera, but the cameras are rolling. And Ama asked that, who are you talking about? And the person, Gisela just whispered outside the mic. She said, they zoom her mouth so that they was...
we were literally gossiping about somebody on set, and you were asking me who I was talking about, and I whispered the person's name to
and they
you.
zoomed into
and they
your
zoomed
mouth.
into my mouth to literally show who I was talking about.
And also another part be that, you have 3 cameras or 4 cameras. Some of the cameras are doing close-ups of the hosts, and then we have one wide camera. So if we are having a discussion and your host's leg is itching and she, scratches her leg, how do you zoom into only the part where she's scratching her leg when all the cameras you could have put it on somebody's face so that they will not see that the person is scratching her leg? But people zoom into the scratching of the leg so that everybody will see that, hey.
The host has chrono, so she's scratching.
There was this episode where we spoke about Galamsey or the protest, and I had so many people coming at me telling me that I was scratching my leg because I'm a human being, I'll itch.
Yeah.
And they zoomed into that bit.
Now you see how they have been setting up the people just for dragging.
This is how they set up the people for dragging. And this thing made me go and check some things and I saw that no, it's true. Because even these new hosts that they have, Adjuati, they've been doing it to her. Recently, one of their episodes, they were talking. Adjuati was saying, oh, these people cry. Maybe people misunderstand what I was saying. And you can hear from the background, one of the producers saying, oh, we are not shooting. We are not shooting. We are not shooting. This part, we are not shooting. But it's on YouTube and we can see that they were shooting.
Somebody's going to take it. Somebody's going to make sure.
They're not even filming.
Okay, but please, I did not do any of those things.
Continue.
Another reason Gisela gave for them leaving the podcast was that how can you have a podcast that you have 3 hosts, Gisela, Ama Burland, Gisela, Ama Burland, and Efia Odo. You have 3 hosts, and to promote your podcast, you go and pay a blogger. I don't know if it's a blogger. You go and pay somebody who has been insulting one of your hosts all the time on Twitter. Bongo Ideas. You go and pay that person to be promoting your podcast for you. Because, and when they went to tell these promoters, the producers of the podcast that we don't like this idea, this person has always been insulting one of the hosts. Every day he's moving to Efia Odo, insulting Efia Odo, dragging Efia Odo, and then you go and pay him to come and promote the podcast again. We don't like it. These people said,
oh, we've not paid him. We've not paid him. We don't know what you're talking about. We don't.
One thing that really got to me was, I get you have to promote your show and all of that. I don't know if you believe in the personalities or the people you are putting on the show, that's one thing. But to pay bloggers who intentionally insult them for them to trend is another thing. After we found out that, I just felt very, very out of place. Like I felt like these people, they don't really care about me, because how do you lie to your people and say that, oh, no, we are not paying this, especially when I draw your attention to it that this person keeps attacking one particular host, like co-host, one particular co-host, and this person keeps insulting her, calling her all sorts of names, and you people claim, Gisela, I don't even know what you're talking about. We don't have anybody like that. We are not paying anybody like that to promote their podcast. And then we later come to find out that this same person comes to announce we leaving the podcast, and it didn't make sense because who else would tell them? Also, how does this person always have the first what's it called?
The trailers before we even have it.
It didn't make any sense. So it felt like they were just always just leaving us, just throwing us out to the wolves, like leaving us in the middle of the desert without water, and it just didn't feel fair.
They say they don't know what they are talking about, but if you go and check Bongo Ideas page, he's the #1 promoter of the Rants Bants and Confessions podcast. Press statements, he's the one who posts press statements. RBC, their official page, they don't post press statements like he posts the press statement first. When there's a trailer, when there's something coming, the trailer of the episode, he posts it first. When Ama Burland and Gisela left the podcast, he came to announce it first. You've not paid him.
Please, how did he get that information?
You people edit the trailer, send it to him to post. And still you are saying you don't know anything about it. Somebody who has been abusing one of your hosts, insulting, dragging, defaming, and you go and pay him to promote their podcast. So this one too, they were unhappy. Even when Gisela and Ama Burland left the podcast, he came to announce. When they were coming to announce the new faces of the podcast, Gisela and Ama Burland have effectively been replaced by Ajati and Rosie Osei on the RBC. Their backstory, he came to post. And you are saying you have not paid him. That's point number 2. Point number 3. The way they post the trailers, the way they edit the trailer, people will start dragging you before the show even comes. Because they'll edit the trailer in a way you would think they are talking about somebody, like the way they did with Ifya Odo and Kwesiata's issue. Ifya Odo was talking about her ex, Revlo. But the way they edited the thing, you would think she was talking about Kwesiata. That he left, your ex, who? Kwesiata. Then they cut to another part where he left me after I did a tattoo on my... Those things. And so one trailer came out. Gisela was like, the way they are dragging me based on this trailer alone, I would like to watch the episode before it comes out so that I'll see. They didn't allow her to watch. They didn't even make the link, unlisted so that they'll send her the link alone and she'll watch, and if she's okay, no.
When you wanted to watch the episode before it came out, because at that point people were really, really
On my
trolling you, and then you just asked to watch the episode and they said no. And I was like, because at the end of the day, I can't, it's both of us on the show. So I was like, no, it's not nice. I was even angry than you said. I was so mad, but I think like it's a good decision.
I also feel like the way they post their snippets is so bad. For instance, the new hosts, right? The new co-hosts, the last snippet they posted, one girl was talking about her ex, and when you watch the full video, they are like far apart from each other, and she wasn't even saying anything bad about her ex, but they combined that part to make it look like she was to the point where her ex went online to make a whole, like it was just too much. And you are not thinking about this person's mental health. You're not thinking about how the person is doing or how the person is faring enough for it to come back and then host the show again. And I think that's just not fair. And that's the same thing they did to me in several episodes. I will say one thing and then they'll just attach it to something else and just come and post it and make it look like. And one thing that annoyed me was, there was this one time people were going off on me about the cooking thing. They waited for it to die down and they came to post a press review, a press release or something. And I was like, what was the reason for this? You could have posted it when people were going off, but you didn't. It's because you still want to trend. Oh, the views are coming in. To
the editor who has been editing this thing, please. Sometimes the effects is too much. I will be listening to that thing when you hear. It's okay. If you do small, it's okay. We beg you. We are listening to the conversation, and it's not like the sound comes with transition or something. No. Normal conversation, we beg. Editor, we beg.
Ama Burland also spoke about almost the same thing. That if one of the co-hosts has some part of her body exposed, and they want to alert one of the cameraman codedly that, check this person, they will put that part inside. They'll put it inside though. Instead of them to look at, like, focus one of the cameras on somebody, remove it. No. The audience have to see, because they were always chasing trends and, dragging so that they will get more views. That was the aim.
But then the two that put me off was the first one when my outfit was up here and then they left my boobs out there like that. There was a video that came. Well, they usually say it's a mistake. That's what they say. But then there was a video that I saw recently from the current host of the show, and one of the guests' breast was showing, and then the host was pointing at the cameraman that he should alert her.
I saw that,
he should alert her, and then they still left that part.
So all in all, they came to drop bombs on this first episode of Let's Do Drinks, and this is promising to be, you know, quite fun because I've seen the trailer, the kind of artists that and the kind of personalities that they were interviewing. 6 years ago, the episode season 1, it was fun. Because of this, I went to watch some of the season 1 episodes and I was seeing it was fun, the concept and everything. So the season 2 is also promising to be great. Now, do you think these RBC people they are being unethical and inconsiderate and they've been setting up their hosts for drags just for, you know, just to get the numbers? Because these people, you watch their podcast and, you know, it's always trending. They always know the kind of guests to bring. It's always trending and it's always violence. And they keep dragging the hosts of the show all the time. So just like Ama and Gisela said, it's like these people don't protect the hosts. Because they are putting the hosts on the show. What they will do to get the numbers so that they can maybe pay the host and pay for production and things, they will do. If it involves putting you on the line or setting you up for drags, they don't care. Share your views in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. And the new show there is going on.
Watch other videos on this channel. Tell somebody about Headless. Yeah, heading. Yapon.